The moral of the story? Car companies are not to be trusted. Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we are going to be talking about Steven Soderbergh's new movie that is a part of the Warner Brothers HBO Max deal. Today we are going to be talking about No Sudden Move, starring Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro, and a really good cast of actors. I'm really not going to try to spoil a lot about this one because a lot of the appeal of this movie is the twists and turns that it takes. But I might have to say a few things to plot-wise that might be considered minor spoilers. So I will say this. If you're a fan of Steven Soderbergh, you're probably going to really like this one. I'm not going to say this one's for everybody, but I will say that I thought this was a pretty good movie. I don't know if I would call it like best of the year type material. That being said, it's still a really good movie, and if you have HBO Max, it's really worth watching. A lot of good acting in this, and that's one thing I will say about this movie is the acting is top notch. I will talk about some of the things I don't like here in a minute, but that being said, I still really did like this movie. It's definitely a slow moving, slow burning plot with lots of twists and turns, lots of different characters. You have to be watching a lot of different pieces moving during this movie because a lot of different things is going on, a lot seemingly near the same time. But what this movie is about is Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro, and Kieran Culkin are brought in on a job, and they don't really know each other, but they kind of somewhat know each other's reputations. They're brought in a job by Brendan Fraser's character, which, by the way, I imagine he's wearing a big guy suit, but I mean he's almost unrecognizable. Playing a character named Doug Jones was the time that name popped up. I'm like, Doug Jones? Oh no, it's the character that Brendan Fraser's playing. Anyway, he brings those three together to go to David Harbour's character's house and hold his family hostage to where he can go to his work office and get this certain thing that they want out of a safe, and they're going to hold the family hostage. But once he gets back, things go a little awry. Someone gets killed, and that's when the police get involved, and that's when other gang members, mostly those who have something against Don Cheadle and Benicio del Toro's character, especially one of them. They are caught. They're caught in basically the crossfire of these people that want what they have, and because they end up with this item that everyone wants, so they have a card in the game now. But those two characters realize they've probably bitten off more than they can chew as the movie goes along. One thing I want to say about this movie, and I don't know if this is true because I couldn't find anything on it. Being that I know that Steven Soderbergh can be an experimental filmmaker, I remember he made that movie Unsane using iPhones. I don't know if he shot most or all of this movie with GoPros. I can't find anything on it, but it's just a lot of the scenes. There was times, and sometimes this worked, sometimes it didn't. A lot of the scenes felt like they were kind of in a fishbowl because you had those kind of curved corners sometimes. Again, it could have just been a certain lens he was using or something. I don't know. But sometimes that bothered me a little bit. Sometimes it worked, though, because there was the times that it did work is when it made the scene feel claustrophobic. Whenever, you've got, say, Don Cheadle and Benicio del Toro and Kieran Culkin's character holding this family hostage. Well, they're kind of tight-knit in this house, and those lenses were making everything feel tighter, right? Like, it just didn't, it made it feel a little more uncomfortable. So sometimes I felt like it worked, but other times, I don't know, it didn't. I'm not going to say it ruined this movie or anything. It's just something I'm really curious about. I'd like to know where it was a lot of this movie shot on GoPros. Again, I can't find anything on it. One thing I really did love about this movie is the performances. Every actor in this I enjoyed, whether it be the kid actors that were playing David Harbour's kids, or the adults, anyone playing a gangster, a cop, everything. I love the performances in this. I mean, you've got a top-notch group of performers, and then even one that's not even credited that plays a very, very higher up. We'll just say. I will give you a hint on who it is, and if you do go to IMDb, you'll see it. Which it's not on the main list; it's on the they put it in the list, the uncredited list. And I didn't look at the end credits to see if this person was there. But I will give you a hint. The person playing this part is a Soderbergh favorite, and I've been in a movie with him. I was in the #2 movie in America for 1 week with this actor. So a lot of you probably already know who it is now. Don't spoil it in the comment section below if you'd be so kind. But I love seeing this person show up. Again, it's a Soderbergh favorite, and I shouldn't be surprised. But it was kind of cool. And I wouldn't call it a cameo, though, because I wouldn't even call it an extended cameo. I don't know, because the person did play a somewhat major role. That being said, he's only in like 2 or 3 scenes. But, I mean, top-notch performances. Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro. I love their work together. I love that you can just tell that, they know they can't trust each other, but they have to trust each other. But darn it, they can't trust each other. John Hamm plays kind of the straight-laced police officer. He, you wonder if he's got a dirty side to him. But really, though, you could just kind of tell he's for truth and justice and law and order. David Harbour's character is very... it's hard to explain his character. He's very reserved, I guess is the right word. There comes a point where he has to do something pretty heinous, and he's apologizing while he's doing it. And in a way, it's kind of funny. He's like, it kind of. I know this is an odd comparison, but it kind of reminded me of Adam Sandler in Airheads, where Steve Buscemi's trying to teach him how to hold up hostages. Where he's like, "Okay, everybody get up against the wall." Harbour's having to do something, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I got to do this. I love my job, but I got to do this." And he's just, it's kind of funny, and I loved it. You have, like I said, Brendan Fraser's almost unrecognizable. There's just so many good actors in this. You have Amy Semietz plays David Harbour's wife. She's fantastic in this. I don't want to give away all the characters because that gives away some of the plot points. Ray Liotta plays one of the upper mob bosses. Shocking, Ray Liotta's playing a mob boss. But yeah, you just have some really good performances. Everybody in this movie is fantastic. I love the style of this movie. It's I wouldn't say it's completely noir, but the movie takes place in the mid-50s and deals with the automobile manufacturers back then. They bring up, people used to work for Ford, now people are working for General Motors, and just all this other stuff, because I won't say what it's for, but this item that Don Cheadle and Benicio del Toro have is something that they all want. And really, it's something that I haven't really looked it up yet, but I doubt this movie is a true story. But it does talk about a lot of the dirt that the auto manufacturers are into back then. So this part of this somewhat could play into real life. This thing that they have that everyone wants. Also, there's this another side story where there's this book out there that has like all the codes and everything for like all the dealings that the mob has done, and that book's out there. So that's kind of a side story that plays into this. And then, like I said, it's a movie where nobody can trust nobody. And I like movies like that because it's like you never know the person that's got your back, are they going to be sticking a knife in it? anytime later. But yeah, I don't really want to say much more about this movie. I do recommend it, especially if you got HBO Max. I probably would have been pretty satisfied with this one in a theater. I mean, I'm a fan of Soderbergh's work, or at least most of it. And, just this movie, it's an overall package. It's got great music, it's got great style, it's got great acting, it's got an interesting story. It's very slow burning, but it's got an interesting story. And really, being that it's dealing with corporate greed and corporate corporations doing bad things to get their way, kind of timely nowadays. So yeah, I do recommend this movie. I do recommend No Sudden Move. Not everyone's going to see it, but that being said, if you have HBO Max, definitely check it out. I do recommend it. See you later.